Um, Welcome back to the Getting to the Bag podcast, guys. I go by Polo Show. I'm a rapper and entrepreneur based here in YYC Calgary. I'm here with my guest today. I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Douglas Fur.
Look, consistency, I'm cooking up this brown rice. Deliciously, I season all that food for thought. Been waiting on some Douglas Fur to soundbite. Cause you
I rap.
that you would not. Cedric said I'm versatile, I get on any beat. It's almost like I sit in any.
Spit hot fire.
Yeah. And we're just back to what Getting to the Bag is all about. Talking hip hop, talking local hip hop, and just having a good time. We're gonna get right into it. I got a couple topics I want to run through with you here, Douglas. So you're a rapper in the local scene. What would you say your perception is? Like, how would you say the scene here in Calgary is?
Thank you for having me here, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think there's like growing potential for sure. Like it's, if you consider like the current timeline and the state of like where like media production, like we're gonna be a major media production house. Like we just had what's it called Last of Us just filmed here in like Calgary, Edmonton, all this
Right.
like this whole area. So like this whole region really, like Alberta is, like Calgary specifically, like I think is gonna be a good place musically in like a few years, like for sure. Like it's already good, right? You know what I mean? It's good as it is now because it's in the early stages. I think that's it's nice to be there for that. You know?
Or yeah, I would say the same thing as well. I feel like there's a lot of potential here, and yeah, we are in the early stages, and it is just about the players doing the work to get us to the next level in the game.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. I'm glad that I could have you on the podcast here. We have had a conversation. We have had a couple talks before, and I can tell like we have pretty similar tastes and like what it is like we vibe to as far as hip hop. I want to start with this question, and I feel like we'll get into some more stuff from here. But who would you say is on your top 5?
Like
MCs, like
straight up like list it.
Yeah, like
okay. And like this is like not by no means like who the best is or the greatest.
Yep.
This is just my personal favorites that I just like. I don't know why. I just like they're like the way they're just chopping their whatever it is that they're doing and shit. Like it's definitely Nas number 1. That's my favorite, hands down. Probably Andre 3000 and Jadakiss.
Damn.
Right? They're crazy. Like Jadakiss, I hear him call himself a samurai lately and shit like that. He's like, I'm still a samurai. I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah.
That's really how you got to see MCing is like wielding a blade.
Yeah, right.
And being the sharpest. But yeah.
And we got Method Man and Lil Wayne.
Damn, Method Man. Yeah, no, Method Man is definitely one of the coldest.
The personality and
Johnny
like
Blaze. Yeah,
he's so sick. Like he's so creative. Like I don't know. Like I heard him trashing his own album, like the first album to Cal, like that came out in like '94 or whatever. He was like trashing, like he didn't like the way it was like. I don't know when the interview was, but he didn't like the way it was like mastered or engineered or whatever, right? They were on tour, they were busy, right? And he didn't like the way it came out. But when I listened to it as a fan, like I love the rawness of it, like kind of like how 36 Chambers was like done in a like Riz's basement or some shit.
Yeah.
Right? And like just like the like at the end of the song, like on the outro as the beats are riding out, he's like, you can hear like Method Man talking some fucked up voice or someone talking, and it's like just telling jokes, like just saying the funniest, like hands down the funniest shit. Like his imagination and personality is It's next level, bro. And then
Word.
and then he's going with Redman and shit later. Like, yo, fucking crazy.
Word.
Can't get better, man. It's fucking nuts.
So that's your top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Damn. That's a cold top 5 list.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you my top 5 list, and
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna be like, "What's yours?" Like,
this is the criteria that it's based off. I feel like I've put together a solid criteria that these lists should be based off. I think it should be based off being a great lyricist, and what that entails is writing your own lyrics and, you know, having a unique way of approaching rhyming.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think you have to have at least one classic album,
Okay, yeah.
one, and I think you have to have like had impact in the game as a whole, like whether the rap or the hip hop game, let's call it the rap game, as a whole. And so with that being said, my top 5: Nas, Eminem, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, yo.
And it's, again, I see it when I think of categorizing it, I just look at all these guys like check off that box for me. Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? They all have this, they all had impact on the game. And it's just like we're talking about this, like all these guys, like I think there's all these, well, obviously the ones like Biggie who's passed away, but all these guys who are still active in the game today, like they don't need to do anything else. Like
No,
what
they
they've
don't.
done is cemented, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, yeah.
The fact that they are though, right, and they're
Yeah.
sticking around,
and they're still,
like,
we want to see it keep going. You
the
know, Who
OGs
knows?
are like even just like Snoop Dogg doing like GGN like News Network like after I thought he was done, like I thought, and like he was Snoop lying for a bit and shit, like I thought he was like done, right?
Yeah,
like
that did happen.
I was like, and then GGN Network and like he's just like he's still here, like
Snoop is like, I think someone had said like, yo, Snoop is like the most like loved rapper across like all ages. You know, little kids love Snoop Dogg, and like old like you know, grown ups, like, you know what I mean, people in their old age love, like Snoop Dogg is just like
Everybody knows
is
who
a
he is.
personality outside of rap.
and that's
you know?
what I mean. He's still
so
here,
much bigger.
and
Like, yeah,
he's still, yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
It's the presence, right? That matters. I think. Like,
Yeah, I think so. I think if your brand, if your music, if what you represent is still here,
It's
years after,
important,
it
like-
speaks to the music you're creating, right?
Yeah.
Timeless art. And with that, I want to segue into another topic here that's kind of been circling the waves of just the music world at large, and that's AI. You know,
yeah.
we're seeing a lot
It's a
of
sick topic.
we're seeing a lot of, you know, I don't know if you've seen I don't know the name of the song, but they released an AI Drake and AI
Yeah, Drake and The Weeknd.
And yo,
Yeah,
I hear
know
the song on like social media all the time. Like people use it like for their like reels and stuff. So it's like people like the song, but it's like I think the way it worked is a songwriter did pen the lyrics like it was Drake and The Weeknd, but then he sang it and then put his voice through the AI thing that just emulates, like, so turns his voice into The Weeknd. And
So Chat GPT didn't write this song?
I don't know about that one specifically. I don't know.
Because I honestly thought that's what it was. I haven't heard the song actually.
No, I don't have.
or maybe I
gone too
haven't. I
in-depth
just don't
into it.
realize I've heard it, right? But
I've heard the chorus everywhere. I don't know. I can tell that it's AI. Anyways, so regardless, how do you feel about AI in music?
I don't know, man. Like there needs to, like, it has its, I'm sure it has its like place. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure it's necessary for certain things. You know, like maybe they should do it for like pre-production and post-production and stuff like that for like movies and like scoring. Like we need this kind of emotion, this kind of like you know, like things are in major and minor. Like these produce, like the AI can figure that out, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it can figure those kinds of, like it has algorithms and shit. So it's like going and like biting people's like straight up like their way of like, even if they are well off, even if they're like the most richest fucking successful guy, they're killing it, they're the hottest person on earth basically, right? Like it's like still it's like you're kind of like you're taking like, I don't know, you're ripping them off. it's just like they're a person, like they're artists, right? You're ripping off Van Gogh.
It's the truth.
Like,
It's
honestly.
the truth. I feel like for the purpose that people are using it for, like whoever
It's the wrong
this
purpose.
person, I'm pretty sure it's a songwriter who penned the song,
Ghostwriter or something.
put his vocals through the AI machine to turn it into Drake's voice.
I would
The
hope
Weeknd's
that's
voice.
what it is,
I'm pretty sure that's
honestly.
what this case is. I feel like in these situations they need to have some kind of law,
That's
like
exactly
to
it.
have
Like,
it so that these people cannot get there, because it's almost like it's like getting your identity stolen, because your vocals in the music game is your identity. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? So I feel like in that use, but I'd seen people say like, what about like, you just fucking did a whole diss record and it's going viral. The radio wants the fucking radio edit of the record. You gotta like take out all these fucking swear words from the diss record, but you could just get AI to redo the record and take out those words. So that's another use of AI, because you know what I mean? The AI would listen to the record and you would tell the AI, don't put any curse words in it, and it would rap it again without. So it's another step of not having to go back to the studio, You're like, damn.
I would honestly.
You'd rather just fucking
I would
re-record it?
rather just because
Yeah.
I like recording. I
Yeah.
actually like being in the studio. I would do it all the time if I didn't have to like pay taxes and rent and all that shit. But like, I don't know. Like, I think it has its place. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I think there definitely needs to be laws and like someone to like regulate how this shit is being released and like who can make money off of it, right? Who
Exactly.
can profit? Because that's what I think is like fucked up, is like when I don't know, I don't want to like
I seen like Timbaland, the producer, like he shared on Instagram like, yo, he never got a chance to work with Biggie, and he always dreamed of working with Biggie. And then he played a demo that he had worked on, and it was AI Biggie on one of his beats. And it was fucking sounding hard as shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you hear this?
yeah.
Like, it was like, I was like, shit, And he was like, yo, I'm gonna figure out the solution, guys, but like, this is,
I mean, that
this is what we
cool.
can do. Like,
don't get me wrong. Like I heard someone else recently was playing like Many Men
Yeah.
redone by Tupac doing the
Oh,
verses
the
and
vocals,
Biggie
yeah.
on the hook.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah,
fire.
and like apparently it sounded crazy, and I'm like okay, like I haven't actually gone and listened to that,
Yeah.
but like I was like, I mean, it's interesting, like
Because here's the real like value that could come from this is like someone like Christopher Wallace, who's been dead now, but is an artist. Like if you go on Spotify, he still has like millions of monthly listeners. People are still consuming his
For sure.
music regularly,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm sure
one of
Diddy
them.
still has like vaulted like some Biggie verses here and there, but he probably doesn't have enough to make a whole album, of just Biggie exclusive verses. They could use this AI, you know what I mean? If his estate was to pull
how
together
do you feel
writers.
about that? Would you like?
I'm just saying, like, if I'm one of those monthly Biggie fans, listeners, I might be craving some new music. And if it's his estate putting it out, is his mom gonna be getting paid from, like, you know what I mean? They have the rights to do this, you know what I
Fair
mean?
enough.
This is like an opportunity for them to, like, that brand still lives on. You
Yeah.
know? I feel like the issue here is that I think it works in that situation where it's a dead artist and, it's the estate trying to keep the artist alive. Where I feel like AI is going to get scary is where we're in these situations where AI is writing the song. You tell AI like, yo, I want a Justin Bieber song, sound like Justin Bieber with Shawn Mendes with a little bit of Chris Brown. And that's what people are listening to.
Boom,
And it's like
pops up.
your favorite artist
Fine.
is AI JB
5
something.
seconds
You know what I
later.
mean? He doesn't even, I feel like the beauty of music, you know what I mean, is this, you know what I mean? I know another human being wrote this shit. I can connect with this shit, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, once we get into, if AI is writing all your favorite songs, you start to like listen and you're like, yo, you're listening to the lyrics talking about like looking at the sunset from the beach and you're like, yo, this AI wasn't at the fucking sunset.
Have you seen Chat GPT like in action?
I
Like
fucked with that.
and
yeah.
and like it actually like you input some like my friend like he's like, write a song about weed or something, right? And it's like weed is all that I need, like, and it just goes off, like it goes off, and it was sick. Like it had bars, the like, write a rap song, he said, a rap song about weed, like, you got to specify, right? But like, yeah, and we were like in like, fuck man, less than a minute, probably 30-40 seconds, we had a song.
Yeah, like what the
I was
fuck?
like, are you serious? Like, weed, that's all I need. And it was just breaking it down,
Damn.
everything. It was getting scientific about it, but it was catchy and it was tasteful. And I was like, yo, that is scary.
I mean, what do you think about that? People just, I mean, because how would you?
At
how,
least it's something for you that you can deliver. You can turn that into an emotion and
I just
deliver
feel
it.
like
But
how. If the fucking AI is writing
the
it though,
fun out
like,
of
you
it.
know what I
I
mean?
don't know. It's
Are
not
you
that
gonna get
fun.
credited for songwriter for writing that song?
I don't think you
No
should.
one's gonna
like-
know AI wrote it. No one's gonna know ChatGPT wrote it.
No one was there.
Yo,
No
you
one
hear
will know.
you hear people like using like ChatGPT to like pass law school and shit. Like, yo, just type up a
shit.
2,000 word
And that's
essay
what
for
I
me
was thinking.
about
I was
like.
like, people can get like degrees with this. Like,
But yeah. Anyways, to another topic here. Where is hip hop heading?
where is hip hop?
Where is
That
hip-hop
a
heading?
Good question, man. Fuck.
And I feel like we will talk about it globally first, and then we'll talk about it locally. But I'll ask you that. So where would you say like hip hop as a whole is going right now?
Again, like it's similar to the way I feel about Calgary's music scene. Is like I actually think it's in a better place than it actually like might seem. You know, just because the radios or like whatever mainstream is doing, whatever it's doing, like that's gonna like when the people have had enough of that. Like, I'm pretty sure they have, right? I'm not gonna speak for them, but you know, but like. When the people have had enough of it, it's gonna go away. Like it's gonna die out. Like you can't kill something this like culturally important.
Relevant, yeah. Important, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't. Like it's like you can't just sweep it under the rug like it never happened or some shit. Like it's too big. It's bigger than rock and roll at this point.
That is true. Do you think that rap is heading more in the direction of female rappers being the forefront of rap?
I don't have a problem with it if it was like predominantly females, as long as like it's like, you know, what are we feeding the audience? Like, is it a bunch of
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like the current climate of rap right now is like all the female rappers have all the poppin' songs.
Scarlip?
You know, Scarlip, Ice Spice, Lotto.
Yeah.
Like the females are the ones that are dominating, and yo, more power to them.
Ice Spice is sick, yeah.
But I want hip hop to be in a place like where it was when I feel like I seen something saying like we haven't had a number one song, like hip hop hasn't had a number one song in this year, like for the first year in like 20 years or like 30
Really?
years or something like that. Like no song has gone number one in the year 2023.
Like not even like Little Uzi or something.
No one's gone number one. Taylor Swift was number one this year. Like, you know.
Taylor Swift goes number one every time. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know. But
I feel like the what am I trying to say without hurting anyone's feelings? The essence of what makes this art what it is slowly dwindling in the current climate. And that's not because of the females. It's just
I like what the females
yeah,
are
I like
doing.
what the
They're
females are
holding it
doing.
up. Like,
some of the females
honestly,
are spitting, you know?
I was like good for like Ice Spice for holding
Yeah.
it down for a minute.
Yeah. Ice Spice is the hottest rapper out of New York.
Like
right now.
honestly, she's
Yeah.
killing it. Like, and she's rapping. I can understand what she's saying. She's got bars and she's spitting, and like the flow is like it's like yo, okay.
I just feel like it's not in the position, or maybe it's just me, or maybe it's my taste, where I'm excited about the artists that are coming out, or there's anyone that I'm looking at that is like, you know what I mean? I feel like in 2009, 2010, when Drake, J. Cole, Big Sean, that was a whole freshman list. That was a 2009. Kendrick Lamar was on that list. Jake,
that
you know
was
what I mean?
crazy.
All these guys came in, and that was a wave of what. And J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, these are still mainstay names in the game today. I'm not seeing that in this generation that's gonna take us another 10 years and champion the sound.
Right.
So
you don't see like 21 Savage here in 10 years.
I guess I do, man. But
I mean, he's pretty. I see him getting better. To be
exactly,
honest.
he would need to get better to.
Or like Kodak Black. I'm
Black
actually
nice.
a fan of Kodak Black straight up. Like honestly, both of those guys. Like I like watching 21 Savage progression. It's like shit, man. Like he's getting. He's like getting more of like a rapper. Like you know what I mean? Like an MC.
Yeah.
Like that Drake and thing with him and Drake.
Yeah. No, that was a tight project. A lot of bangers on there. Anyways, not to bash hip hop. I love hip hop,
for sure.
I feel like
it's just
I want more as far as quality in the music, and we're getting that. But I just don't feel like, again, it's not like it was 10 years ago. I almost feel like, and this brings back to that stat that there is no number one song from hip hop right now in this year.
That's crazy.
But anyways, that's how I feel. That's how I feel on the subject.
I just think like with like the young, like there's just the like it's like a gap, right? Like an age divide or whatever. Like when you got like guys like Griselda who are like as active as they are, right? And you still have like Lil Wayne and like all these like OGs and shit, like Nas, like they're still doing their thing. And then you got like all these young like crazy guys. Like I think it's just like the more they can like come together and like actually like make like the craziest music together, I think that will like when it's like the best of both worlds colliding. And it's just like that's what I honestly see it like going to. So it's like I hear you on the like we just need to listen to each other. Really,
it needs to evolve. That's what I'm saying. It needs to evolve. It needs, like, I see, this is the best way to put it. I see a lot of stuff going on, but nothing is blowing my mind. Like I feel like what you're saying, shit needs to go down for us to take it to the next level. So I'm like you said, this is hip hop is so much more than just music now, man. It's the way people talk now. You see it in like the news, like it's just like
everything.
You know what I mean? It's culture, So it's like
totally.
The
like
music
news
is not
anchors.
It's not gonna disappear. It's in everybody. Even people that don't listen to the music are influenced by the culture, So it's so important, But I feel like as the musicians, as people who are in the music, I feel like the music is the source of the culture. You know what I mean? I feel like it is taking it to higher levels is only going to be better for the culture and the business of music at large, and the artists involved. And that's speaking globally and locally, I feel like our city needs to have, like, I don't want to say a sound, but we need to be known for the quality of music that comes from here, to stand out in the large climate.
To be put on the
rap.
map, right?
Exactly. We can't just be doing what everyone else is doing to be put on the map. It's got to either be different or got to be the next level that everyone else is trying to do. Once we figure out what that formula is.
I don't know. I kind of had like epiphany just now thinking about it. Like I'm like what makes Calgary unique is like, honestly, I think it's the diversity.
Right.
Like the diversity, like Northeast Calgary's crazy. Like, I mean, I think that's what we really have to offer is that unity. We can show like people like, yo, man, like you can have a group of like 5 people and like one dude's like a white guy, one guy's a black guy, one guy's a brown guy, one guy's an Asian guy, one guy's you know what I mean? Like
that is a thing here in Calgary.
Right?
How do we put that on wax and fucking put that out to the world?
They gotta be disciplined. In their craft, in a sense. Like they got like you can have the talent, but you gotta want it. You gotta go and
Word.
And I mean, I don't want to be like hypocritical because I slept on I'm 33 years old, right? I'm like, but I know that there's a market for middle-aged rappers, like Griselda, Rick Ross, Eminem, like those guys, right?
Word. Yeah. And so on that note, I would just like to ask you, I guess a bit about what you have going on. So you're an MC here in the city of Calgary. Tell us about, what you got going on as far as music. What can we expect from you, etc.
Right now, for the time being, I'm just kind of like trying to work on like actually getting in the studio, just as much as possible, so that I can have the material kind of like loaded up in the chamber, ready to just like drop on like get somewhat more of like an organized like schedule of releasing things more regularly, consistently,
Yeah.
and like having a certain like level of quality that people can expect, so that it's not like you're throwing your listeners off and shit like that,
Word.
Try to just keep growing with and learning with like writing processes, just yeah, I just want to keep putting out music. I got this mixtape thing that I'm working on, this little project, and I'm kind of just like dropping it one song at a time, until it's like pretty much like 95% like out, or maybe 80%. I don't know. I'll figure out once I get there, but like, and then I'll like kind of repackage it in like a marketing sense, right? I'll repackage it and like promote the hell out of it. It'd be like, yo, go check out this, and it's just like YouTube exclusive because it's like already famous beats.
Right.
But it's been fun just working on it, and putting out the 2 songs I have put out already. I just put one out yesterday on YouTube. Mixtape called Subpar Hors d'oeuvres. Again, it's a work in progress. It's coming out as we speak. So that's what's going on really for me right now. You can stream me on all platforms, Douglas Fur. Yeah, man. Dropped a little song or appetizer called 32 Freestyle. So I did 31 freestyle a year ago. So that's what I'm doing right now, and then in the future probably get with these this collective of people that I make music with, and they rap in Punjabi. And
that's dope.
yeah,
Nice.
we got a group, and they got like a label, and we call it Wild Count Records. I didn't make it up. I just met the dude who did, and I was like, "This is your logo. This is your name. All right, let's fucking go, man." Because I like these guys, right? Like, fuck it, I don't even care. Like, let's go. What it is.
That's the beautiful thing about music, man. It's like it's a vibe, right? Like, oftentimes, like if you can just connect with people and you guys have a good vibe, you can almost always make a great record.
For sure.
And you're always just in good company. But yeah, man, that's dope to hear. Looking forward to that full tape coming out.
Yeah, right. Being completed.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
Yeah. And so with that, I would say that brings us to the end of our podcast. That was Getting to the Bag podcast, season 4, episode 1. You can find this podcast, if you're listening to this on YouTube, on all podcast listening platforms. And if you're listening to this on a podcast listening platform, you can find the podcast on YouTube. I go by Polo Show. I'm a rapper. I'm an audio engineer. I'm an entrepreneur. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Polo Show YYC. Yeah.
Douglas Fur. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you.
Peace.